If you're someone wanting to go from a slice to a draw, then you need to recognize how the progress will be. At the very start of these changes, we're going to have to exaggerate the feeling so significantly just to try to get some amount of change happening. Let's say, for example, you spend a whole week focusing on a swing change and now you get this amount of draw into your golf game. Now, that's still 95% of a slice and 5% of your draw pattern. And so in order to create the desired shot shape that we want to do, you're probably going to have to fill this bar with completely green. And at the early stages of those changes, you're going to have to exaggerate it a significant amount. And the more you do it, the better you will get at it. So let's say that you spend another 2 weeks doing it, and now you're at the point where we've changed that all the way to 25%, and now our slice pattern is back down to 75%. Now that is a great change, right? But if we need to continuously keep on getting this into a position where we want it to, that is when we continuously work on the same swing thought. We're not going to change swing thoughts just because we've started to see some good shots. We need to change it completely until we're happy with the desired shots that we're getting. So now in this case, we've spent 2 months doing it, and now we're at 60% and 40% of our draw pattern. At this point in time, we might be pretty happy with how it's going. You know, 60% of our shots are decent or hitting the desired shot that we're wanting to, but again, 40% aren't. And so if we still want to keep it going, we need to just continuously work on the same thing. Sometimes we can exhaust the swing change to a point where it might be, if we keep on exaggerating it, it might look significantly out of place. And that's when you've got to realize that you might need to change something else. So now we've got it to 80% and 20% of the slice pattern. Awesome, great. But the trouble is that if you go over this line and now you start to get 100% of a draw pattern going, your miss might, instead of being the right shot, you might be missing it left now. And so at that point in time, it wouldn't make any sense for you to continue the swing change, because you could start to have too much of a draw and now your progress is too far in towards this left. And so at that point in time, it's absolutely no issues at all to add in some more of a slice pattern. Making swing changes is not just this one constant change that we always need to make. It's going between deciding how far we want to seesaw between the two miss hits, between the slice and between the draw, and add in as many elements of the draw as we can that will offset the draw amount if we want to be hitting a straight shot. If you lean more towards the side of adding in too many draw things, you're going to tip the scales in the favor of going too far left, and that's when you'll create the overdraw or the misses to be too far to the left. And conversely is true, if we tip the scales in the red, too much of a slice, then our pattern's going to be too far to the right. But it's not to say that your swing change should be constant and that you should just continuously do the same thing. It depends on the desired shots that you are producing. If by some means that the 75% change has given you the desired amount of shots that you want in the fairway and you can handle the miss hits that you're getting, cool, leave it at that. But if you stop staying on top of your swing changes, there is an absolutely high chance that you will add in more of these things the more you play on the golf course, because this could be your tendency. Now, everyone has their tendencies in the golf game. Mine particularly would be more towards a slice. Some people have a draw, some people might just have a straight shot, but they struggle with some contact issues. You always have to stay on top of these tendencies, because that percentage change may change over a few months. You might now tip the scales in the favor of a slice pattern and now hate the ball flight because you haven't worked on the changes that you made in the previous 6 months. And now we're looking at 60% of those shots going out towards the right and 40% of them going out towards the left. And so we need to determine what percentage we want. Now it might be 50-50 and we get a pretty straight shot as a result of it. That's cool, absolutely. But again, we need to be recognizing what our tendency is and staying on top of that, because if we don't, we can find ourselves tipping the scales in the favor that we don't want it to be because we didn't stay on top of our tendencies. There are so many concepts like this when we make swing changes that are important to recognize. And I've set up 27 ways in 27 days to give you more clarity around how to make these changes and how you need to perform out on the golf course to shoot your lowest scores that you possibly can. I'll put the link in the description, and if you have any questions, please feel free to comment. If you haven't already watched the video about how to go from golfer A slicing it to golfer B hitting a nice little draw, then I'll link this up there, and I'll catch you next time.